Hey YouTube gun people, isn't that a pretty sight? 3 examples of the 1911 pistol. Timeless design. Right here in the back we have the Series 70 Mark IV new. It's actually a new Series 70, so it's a reproduction of the classic 1911. It's lovely, shoots great. I was thinking about having this reconfigured for a competition gun. I'm having a hard time doing that just because it's so pretty the way it is. It really is. It's just a gorgeous gun. Shoots very, very accurately. It's what can I say? It handles well. It's reliable. Beautiful. Here we have a Smith & Wesson 1911. Sort of the new breed of 1911s, modern pistol. It's got a trigger block on it. Firing pin. It has a firing pin block in it, unlike the Series 70. I don't think that really matters at all. You know, if you get a gunsmith to work on them, excuse me, you can't tell the difference. Anybody that says they can tell the difference, I think, is exaggerating a little bit. Fine weapon. I have, getting close to about 5,000 rounds, probably over 5,000 rounds in it now, through it now. It's been just beautiful. No complaints. And this is actually a Colt. I'm going to call it a Colt Fraken Gun. What's a Colt Fraken Gun? This is basically a bit of a customized or hand-built, let's say, 1911 pistol. What's unique about it? Let's take a look at it. All these firearms have been checked off camera. I dropped the magazine in there. There's nothing in the chamber. We'll rack it forward. We'll pull the trigger. Weapon is clear. So this is really an interesting piece. Let's get you zoomed in here. What's so interesting about it? Well, it's really a gun made out of different parts, and so it's got a Colt Series 80 Mark IV frame slide. Okay. Really nice, ribbed on the top, fiber optic in the front. It's got an adjustable sight in the rear. That's these are both been milled into the slide. This is a Dawson front sight on it, so it's super good. Works well. The lower though is not a Colt lower. The frame is an Essex frame, and these two pieces were hand fit together by a gunsmith. I bought this gun off of a buddy of mine, and it's been highly tweaked to be reliable and have a super sweet trigger. Now you can see just by looking at it, this gun has wear on it. As I said, it's used. All the wear is because it gets shot, and it's been shot a fair amount, but it's got plenty of life in it. I'm not of the belief that you can really shoot out a gun, especially for competition where you're using lower pressure rounds. I'm not shooting, really beefy stuff through this thing. I'm shooting loaded down ammunition for the purpose of just competition. It's got VZ grips on it. These are really nice. I'm sure everybody watching these understands VZ grips, and these are G10 grips. I think it's double diamond. I like that pattern. It's pretty traditional, and it's not too grippy, but it's certainly grippy, and it's got the funky screws in it. All these parts, including the firing pin stop, have been custom fit in here. They're real tight, which is what you want. The hammer which will probably get changed. So let's just go down the half cock here so you can see it better. The hammer's actually been bobbed off, right? And there's actually a groove left in it from the original serrated hammer, so you can cock it back if you needed to. It's just been shortened to accommodate the beaver tail. You could change this out. I don't really see the need for it. Take a look at the barrel. Now you got to remember, this is actually, we see here, this is built off of a 9mm conversion unit that's been hand fitted. It's an interesting gun. The barrel, so basically the barrel here is the same outer diameter of a 45 barrel, and it's cut down here to conserve weight because the barrel is actually quite thick, because now you're trying to get the same diameter in a in this barrel, which happens to be a 9mm, right? So now we have a 9mm 1911. Why on earth would you want a 9mm 1911? I got to tell you, one reason is these 9mm 1911s. This gun with an empty magazine in it weighs 36, let's say 37 ounces. Okay, so it's heavy for a 9mm. Now for competition, that means when you're popping off rounds, this thing has very mild reduced recoil, so your front sight's not going like this, it's going like this. You can get back on target really, really quickly, which is a big advantage for gamesmanship. This is a gaming gun. Let's make no ifs, ands, or buts. It's not for carry or anything like that. You could you carry it? Yeah, of course you can carry it, but I wouldn't. It wouldn't be a choice for me for carry. It's got magazine well, which is built into it's a Smith & Alexander add-on magazine well. And you can see this gun has been used, but you know, the magazine well is a good place to look for wear because magazines get slammed in there. It's pretty clean looking. Overall, it's pretty clean. 9mm, besides that recoil, if you just look at range brass and you pick up brass, you'll pick up, you know, ratio of 500 to 1 of 9mm to 45 ACP. So it's easier to get your hands on inexpensive reloading components, which are for range brass free, and you could do a hell of a lot more shooting. A hell of a lot more shooting. This is being a 9mm 1911. It also has, of course, 9mm magazines. But what's nice about this configuration is that you can use all your existing equipment for a different caliber 1911, because it's a 1911 platform. This gun will fit in your 1911 holsters, right? And the magazines, although they're not 8-round magazines, for instance, or 7-round magazines that are typical for 45 ACP, these are 10-round, and there also are 9 rounds. It's an argument over reliability. These are 10-round trip research magazines. They make some of the best magazines. 10 rounds, so 10 plus 1 in this pistol. It's a really good gun for ESP division of IDPA and similar USPSA shooting. Really, really nice. So nice magazine capacity. So you're on par, because IDPA, for instance, is 10 plus 1's maximum. So you're on par with your plastic guns, your Glocks and the like. Smith & Wessons, but you're shooting this beefy, heavy platform. And so an advantage is that you can now shoot ESP division with this, which is a 1911, and you can then go and shoot CDP, which is just 45 ACP only, with the same basic gun, just in a different caliber. Now I think for moving across divisions, that's got a lot of utility. It's very, very useful, because it's really actually hard to train with, for instance, a Glock 17 and then go to the 1911 or something like that and shoot CDP. You'd have to maybe stay with the Glock 21, right? I don't, personally for me, I shoot a 1911 platform better than any other platform for whatever. And I'm not saying I'm great at it, by the way, but for whatever reasons, I just do. So it offers a huge advantage for me to be able to find this. Now, is it the end-all, be-all of 9mm 1911s? No, I got this to really see where I'm going to go with it. I'll definitely be using it for practice. There's a lot of things you can practice with this, even though it's not a 45. So for instance, say you really prefer CDP. You can still practice with this. There's a lot of things you can practice. Your draws. You can practice efficiency of movement. You can, many different things you can practice with this gun for really a lot less money per round, even if you reload. And I reload. The truth about reloading is, yes, per round it's much less expensive, but once you start reloading, you're going to shoot a lot more because you're going to want to shoot. That's the whole point of it. So you might actually wind up spending more money, but you'll be shooting way more. So you do save money. If you tried to do that without reloading, it'd really be painful on your wallet. So that's really the advantage. This guy has a few features on it that you can't see, unfortunately. They're inside the gun that make it really nice. I don't know if you'll be able to appreciate this, but this trigger, let's do it like this so maybe you can see, is there's the take up, right? Take up, just press. It's really, it's like butter. It really is. Gorgeous. The VZ grips give it, nice grippiness. These guys, this Diamond D pattern doesn't cut up your hands, and it's just got a piece of skateboard tape on the front of this frame. It's an Essex frame. What about Essex frames? Well, these are cast frames. They're made in Vermont. They've been made for a long time. There's a debate on them. I think they're just fine. I think the biggest problems was that when they came to some people, the holes were out of spec, not right size, so they need to resize them. Maybe a little bit rough. This one seems to be quite nice. Quite nice. The big issue, people like to debate a lot of things on firearms and forums. There's purists. I understand that. I can sympathize with that. I don't have a problem with that. Just keep in mind, a lot of it is complete baloney. It's just baloney. That the argument over forged versus cast frames is bullshit. It just is. Some of the finest frames out there, Caspian, for instance, every one of their frames is cast, and they feel that it's important to make cast frames because they can control the quality a little bit better, make a more consistent product, and they stand behind it because they have a lifetime warranty on those frames. And if you call them and ask them, they'll tell you that in their experience. And then you call a bunch of gunsmiths and ask them if they like Caspian frames for custom builds. They'll say, "Oh, hell yeah." Caspian will tell you, we don't have problems with them. We know they're in spec, and strength-wise, there's really no difference at all in reality. Now, if it makes a difference between your ears, where you are going to have a psychological problem because you're shooting a cast gun and you're going to say, oh my god, I'm shooting badly, there must be something wrong with the frame, well then maybe you should just get a forged frame. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. I was going to take it out and shoot it today, but we're having about 50-mile-an-hour winds, so we'll wait till tomorrow. Maybe I'll go in this evening and shoot indoors. I really prefer to shoot outdoors. I just like it a lot better. But we'll see. Maybe we'll do a little shooting. We'll shoot a little bit indoors tonight. We'll see how it goes. So that's what I got for you. Some new 1911s. My 9mm 1911. I plan to shoot the living piss out of this thing. Absolutely. I'm gonna shoot it until the wheels fall off, and then when the wheels fall off, I'll replace each one of the wheels, and we'll take it from there. It really looks like it's pretty much a Colt with the new Series 80 upper. It's a 9mm conversion upper. Made it to an Essex frame. Shoots like a dream. I did try it out before I bought it. I can tell you for just for practicing, for doing some IDPA practice with it, this was reducing my times on a typical scenario by 5 seconds. That's huge, huge. And just because of, if you focus on trying to make your hits, and you're trying to focus on that front sight, recoils, comes back down, there's a lot of big difference between that and that, right? It's like shooting a BB gun versus shooting a center fire. Really, really very impressive. Very impressive indeed. So I'll get some of that on video, and I'll talk to you soon.